Hello, folks. Hope I'm audible and my video is also clear. Let me know in the chat if I'm audible and visible. We were facing a lot of technical glitches, which is why we are late. Really sorry, apologies for that. But please let me know in the chat if my audio and video are clear, and then we'll start the session. Today we'll be discussing quite some topics from both GIPMAT and IPMAT Rota. Obviously LR sessions, so we will be covering a lot of LR questions. Um, so yeah, that would be the agenda for today. So a couple of topics from verbal reasoning, couple of topics from non-verbal reasoning, and then we'll move on to the final uh, session, maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, this is just like I said, this is the fourth session in a series of sessions that we've been doing. So this is the fourth session. To check out the previous three sessions, head to the link in the description, or you will find it in our channel IPMAT 2IIM cat 2IIM IPMAT channel. So definitely check them out. The first three sessions we covered a lot of grounds on LR questions that appeared in both IPMAT Rohtak and GIPMAT. So yeah, Abhishek is saying everything is good. Yeah, thank you. Just a minute. I'll also check the tech and then. Sorry. Sorry, you guys. I just headed down to get some things done before the session starts. So yeah, everything is ready now. Let's start the session. Just like I said, this is the fourth session in a series of sessions that we've been doing. Hopefully, we'll have one more session maybe a couple of days later. But yeah, we are very nearing the end of the series that we've been doing. So yeah, definitely check the previous sessions out. You can head to 2IIM's IPMAT channel and then check out the previous live sessions that we did on LR sessions. Right? We've also covered grounds and quant, which have been also been posted on the IPMAT channel. So definitely check them out as well. We will try to come up with one more session regarding the English and verbal section. But I'm not guaranteeing anything on that front. So we will try as much as possible before your IPMAT Rohtak examination to come up with a verbal session. So that's it. Let's start the session. Yeah, we'll be doing quite some questions on number series and alphabet series. So we're starting with this one. So give it a try, and then we'll discuss it. It will take a minute or two, and then we'll discuss the session. If you guys have just joined, make sure that you guys participate on the chat and make sure that you put in your answers so that we can make it a more interactive session. Let's solve this. In this question, a number series is given with one term missing. Choose the correct option that will continue the same pattern. Right? We have 17, 19, 15, 23, 7 and 39. Right? Let's look at it. We have 17, which is the starting number. Move on to the next. Oops. Next number, which is 19, it's plus 2. From 19 becomes 15, is minus 4. From 15 becomes 23, which is plus, plus 8. From 23 it becomes 7, which is minus 16. From 7 it becomes 39, which is plus 32. Sorry, 32. So you can see a pattern here. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and then plus minus keeps on alternating, right? So the next number would be obviously minus, because we have a plus here. We have minus, right? 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and then the next number is 64. Next power of 2 is 64. The next number would be 39 minus 64. 39 minus 64. So that should be 39 minus 64 would be in the negative direction. So negative 25, the only option that is available. Right? So that is the answer. Let's move on to the next question. Very simple question this one is. Let's try the next one. Again, participate on the chat if you have got the answer right or wrong. Doesn't really matter. Participate on the chat. Let's make it more interactive so that it's fun. Right? So yeah, take a minute or two, solve this question, and then we'll discuss. Again, a very simple series. Starts at 56, then moves to 72, which is plus 16. Then this difference is 18. This is 20. This is 22. This is 27. Okay. So this 56 is the first number, plus 16 is 72, plus 18 is 90, plus 20 is 110, plus 22 is 132. The next number should be 136, because 24 should be the next number that is being added. So that should be not 139. Oops, it's not 27. Sorry, it's just 7. So the next number should be plus 24. Next number should be plus 24. And not just plus 7. So the next number is not 139, it's more than 139. So 139 is the odd number, so that is the incorrect number. 139 will be the answer. Right? So the series starts with 56 and then moves on to the subsequent numbers, starting with plus 16, plus 18, plus 20, plus 22. The next number should be plus 24, but what we have is just plus 7. Right? So this 1 is the incorrect number, whatever this number corresponds to. So 139 is the incorrect number in the series. So that is why 139 is our answer. The question asks us to find the incorrect number in the series. So incorrect number is 139. So that's why that's the answer. Right? Very, very simple, not too difficult. Let's move on to the next one. This one is based on alphabets. So maybe give a minute or two, solve this one, and then we'll discuss. Definitely put your answers on the chat, and then we'll discuss whether your answers are correct or not, and we'll have some fun on the chat as well. Right? Take a minute, then we'll discuss. This is to answer John. 139 is find the odd one among the list of numbers given. We have to find the incorrect number in the series. So it's a series that follows a pattern. The number that does not follow the pattern is what should be the answer, right? So you should find the pattern, and then whatever the pattern is, there will be one number that is not following the pattern. So you will have to point out that particular number as your answer. Right? So that's what you're looking for. This is not an odd one out type question. So yeah. I can see one answer already coming in. Let's solve it. An alphabet series is given with one term missing. Choose the correct option that will continue the same pattern. Right? M O Q S U W Y A C. Let's look at it. We have M O Q. Okay. There is one character missing between M and O, which is N. M N O. So P will be here. O P Q. Q, then R. R is missing. P is missing. N is missing. S we have. T is missing. U we have. B is missing. W we have. X is missing. Y we have. Z is missing. A we have. B is missing. C we have. D should be missing. And then next number should be E. So we know the pattern. M we have one character missing, and then the next character, then one character missing, and then the next character. Right? That's how it goes on. So D we should have. D will be missing. E will have. F will be missing. G will have. H will be missing. I will have. Whatever this number is, E G I should be the next number in the series, which is why E G I is the answer. Right? Very simple, not too difficult at all. Should be able to crack it in maybe 40-45 seconds. Right? Very simple question. Yeah, solve this. This one is slightly tricky. Maybe give it some more time to solve. But if you guys got the answer, definitely let me know in the chat. Let's solve this question. Find the missing number in the given series. Right? You have to find the missing number or the last number in the series. So we have 12, 38, 116, 350, 1052. Okay, I can see that the number is starting at 12 and rapidly going towards the 4-digit number. Right? Starting as a 2-digit number, a lower 2-digit number, and then rapidly going towards a 4-digit number. So I can sense that there is no addition or subtraction involved, but there is amount of multiplication that is involved, right? Maybe multiplication of some number, or it can be squares, or it can be cubes, anything of that sort. But multiplication is involved, is something that I can get from the hang of whatever the series is, right? So it's 12, 38, 116, 350, 1052 is what we have. We have 12, and we have 38, and then we have 116. Let's try to figure the first 3 numbers, and then see what the pattern is underlying in that, and then let's see if the other 2 checks out whatever the pattern that we come up with, right? So we have 12, we have 38. Okay, I don't see any similarity between the 2 other than them being an even number, right? So let's try multiplication, because we came up with multiplication as our first sort of idea that we wanted to try out. So let's try out the multiplication first and then see where it takes. We have 12, then goes to 38. So we know that 12 times 3 is 36, plus 2 will give me 38. Right? So let's have it. So we have 38 now. This becomes 116. Let's see if that makes sense. Right? 38 times 3. Right? 38 times 3 is what? 8 3 are 24. 2 carry. 3 is 9. 10, 11. 114 plus 2 is 116. So that also checks out. Right? Now let's see if that pattern holds true for the next 2 numbers. Right? We have 116. 116 times 3. Right? 16 times 3 is 48. 100 times 3 is 300. So 300 plus 48, 348. Plus 2 will be 350. So that checks out as well. Right? Let's check out the 1052 holds true or not. Right? We have 350. 350 times 3 is 1050 plus 2. So we have 1052. Now we need to find the next number in the series. Right? We know that the pattern is times 3 plus 2, right, of the previous number. We have one number, we can find the next number. 1052 is the first number. We know that the next number would be 3156. Right? 3156 would be the next number, which is times 3. Plus 2 we have to add, because that's the pattern. So 3156 plus 2 is 3158. Okay? So that should be the answer. Whatever that option is, you choose it and then move on to the next one. Right? Very simple. Just a little bit of thought you have to put to find out what is involved here. You can see that it starts as a 2-digit number and rapidly move towards the 4-digit number, right? Within 4 or 5 jumps. Right? So when something is growing exponentially, there should be some sort of a multiplication that is involved. So we work on from there. Right? Very simple. Let's move on to the next one. Solve this. Again, a very simple question, not too difficult at all. Try it. Take a minute or two, then we'll discuss. Let's solve it. I can see a bunch of answers on the chat, so let's solve it. Right? look at the series 544, 509, 474, 439. What's the next number? Very simple question. 544 to 509 and then 474, 439. It's not decreasing exponentially, or it's not decaying as fast, right? So I can sense that some amount of addition or subtraction is what is being happened. Since it is decreasing, I know that it's subtraction is happening, right? So I can sense that this is 35. The difference is 35. Let's look at this difference. 509 to 475. Again 35. Again 35. So what should be the next number? Minus 35 from whatever this number is. Right? So 439 minus 35 would be 404. That should be our answer. Very simple. Should be solving it in maybe 30-35 seconds. Right? Again, solve this and then we'll discuss. Maybe take a minute, we'll discuss. Let's solve this. This question, a number series is given with one term missing. Right? Choose the correct option that will continue the same pattern. We have 17, which is the starting number, then moves on to 19, 15, 23, 7, 39. There's some alternation that's happening. Let's look at what's that. 17 to 19 is plus 2. 19 to 15 is minus 4. 15 to 23 is plus 8. 23 to 7 is minus 16. 7 to 39 is plus 32. Let's look at it. Okay. We have plus 2, minus 4, plus 8, minus 16, plus 32. I can see that the sign is alternating, right? Plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. I can also see that it is a power of 2, right? 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. With that 2 in mind, I can find the next one, right? Next number in the series. That would be plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. The next one should be a minus. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and then it would be 64. So 39 minus 64. So that should be there. Just like we discussed. It's the same question, just repeating that we discussed, right? Same question, just repeating one more time. Okay, we'll move on. Okay, this I think we did already. We'll move on to the next sort of stuff. This is a different type of question called deducing conclusions. You have a series of statements given, and then you try to find whether the conclusions that are being given are true or not, right? From the statements that's given. So yeah, solve this. Maybe take 2 minutes, and then we'll discuss. let's solve this question. H greater than P, P is less than or equal to E, E is less than L, L is equal to R is less than V, and then F is greater than or equal to V. This is what is given. It helps to write this or rewrite this from left to right, or in a ascending order or in a descending order, any order that you like, right? So we'll write it in ascending order and then see where it takes us. So P less than E less than L equal to R less than V. So P should be the least, right? Is not equal to, oops. E less than L or R. L is equal to R, right? So L or R. Then this is less than V. Then we know that F is greater than or equal to V. So this should be, we know that H is greater than P. P is the least, so H can be anywhere. H can be anywhere from here. H can be anywhere. So I don't know if H is greater than E, H is greater than L, anything. Only thing I know is H is greater than P. So let's look at the conclusions. F is greater than E. F is greater than E. Yeah, definitely, yes, true. Because we have written it in ascending order. So E comes first and F comes later, which means E is less than F. That's what is given. So this holds true. Let's look at the next one. H is greater than R. We don't know where H stands in this order, which is the ascending order. So we can't say for sure whether if H is greater than R, or if it is less than R, or is it equal to R. We can't say for sure, right? So this is a conclusion that we cannot draw. So the first one is the only conclusion that we can draw, which is why option C is our answer, right? Very, very easy. You just have to do it methodically. Just rewrite the statement that is given in one of the order that you like, maybe ascending or the descending order, and then it should be good to go, right? Let's move on to the next one. Again, a deducing conclusion type question. You have to read the statement, and then there will be some conclusions that follow. You have to mention whether the conclusions are true based on the statements or not, right? Take a minute or two and then we'll discuss. Let's solve this. Statement and conclusion. Statement is no woman can vote. Some women are politicians. Right? You can see that no woman can vote. Some women are politicians. Now let's look at the conclusion. Male politicians can vote. It says no woman can vote. Does that automatically mean male politicians can vote? No, not necessarily. Male people also can be, people who cannot vote. So this is something that we cannot draw. Right? Some women are politicians. Okay, some politicians can vote. Also, this this particular thing, can we draw some politicians can vote? It says some women are politicians, no woman can vote. We don't know whether men can vote or not. We also don't know whether there are men who are politicians or not. So we can't conclude that some politicians can vote or not as well, right? So both option 1 and option 2 cannot be concluded from the given statement. The given statement is not comprehensive enough to conclude these two things. So which is why both the conclusions does not follow, right? Neither conclusion nor conclusion 2 follows. That should be the answer, right? We cannot conclude these two from the two statement that is being given. Let's move on to the next one. Take a minute or two and then we'll discuss. Let's solve this question. All cats like to run, okay? Some cats like to swim. Some cats look like their masters. All cats like to run. It means every single cat likes to run. Some cats like to swim. It's not all cats. Some cats like to swim. And some cats look like their masters. This is not all cats. Again, some cats look like their masters. Right? Now, let's look at the conclusion that has been drawn. Right? All cats who like to swim, all cats who like to swim look like their masters. Is it a conclusion that we can draw? No, there can be cats who like to swim and there can be cats who look like their masters. Both the two sets can be mutually exclusive, right? Which means, for example, let's say if there are 5 cats and then 2 cats like to swim and 3 cats look like their masters, right? The two groups can be mutually exclusive and then add up to the whole thing, right? So that's why this is the conclusion that cannot be drawn from these 3 facts. There is no information of the overlap between the two, right? So this is something that we cannot draw. Cats who like to swim also like to run. Right? Cats who like to swim also like to run. We know that some cats like to swim. We also know that all cats like to run, which means cats who like to swim should also like to run. So this condition is true. Cats who like to run do not look like their masters. Cats who like to run do not look like their masters. We know that some cats look like their masters and some may not look like their masters. There is no information on cats who do not look like. So this is also not true, which is why option 2 is the only thing that we can conclude. Right? Again, try to solve the next one. Yeah. Let's solve this question. Again a statement conclusion type question. Some ships are boats. Okay. All boats are submarines. Some submarines are yachts. Some ships are boats. All boats are submarines. Some submarines are yachts. Let's look at the conclusions. Some yachts are boats. Is that a conclusion that we can draw? Some yachts are boats. We know that all boats are submarines. And then some submarines are yachts. We don't know whether some submarines are boats. We know that all boats are submarines, but not all submarines are boats, right? So we don't know some submarines are also belong to this boat set. So which is why this conclusion cannot be drawn. Right? Let's look at the next one. Some submarines are boats. Right? Some submarines are boats. We know that all boats are submarines. So it also makes to the other way around, right? Some submarines can be boats. We know that boats is a set. Then all boats are submarines. So this is submarine. Right? So boat is a subset of submarine. Right? So we can say some submarines are boats. Right? Some of the submarines are also boats, which is true. So this can be a correct conclusion that can form. Again, we'll move to the next one. Submarines are ships. Right? Let's look at it. We know that some ships are boats, and we also know that all boats are submarines. Right? We know that all boats are submarines, which means this boat can also be a submarine. Right? Now let's look at it. Some ships are submarines, which means some submarines are ships. So this also holds good. Right? Let's look at the fourth one. Some yachts are ships. Some yachts are ships. Now let's look at it. Just like we had the first one, we know that the boat and some submarines can be a mutually exclusive set, which is why this also not holds good. Right? We know for a fact that all the boats are submarines and some submarines are yachts. There is no guarantee that all these boats that are submarines are also yachts. Right? There can be submarines that are yachts that are not boats. So that particular condition, that particular statement that combines boats and yachts is not given, which is why this cannot be our answer. Only if we can combine boats and yachts, can we replace this with here and then find whether the ships can be compared or not. That's why fourth one cannot be a conclusion that can be drawn from these three statements, which is why only 2 and only 3. I mean only 2 and 3 that follows. So the option is only 2 and 3. Right? Hope that makes sense. Let's move on. Again, a deducing conclusion type question. Shouldn't take much time. Very easy this one is. So solve it. We take a minute and a half, and then we'll discuss. Let's solve this question. The statement given is some Google is Twitter, no Twitter is Facebook, all Facebook are WhatsApp. Right? These are the three conditions that have been given. Let's look at it. some Google is Twitter. Let's try to draw a set diagram or a Venn diagram. Some Google is Twitter. Some of Google is Twitter. This is Google. This is Twitter. No Twitter is Facebook. No Twitter is Facebook. We know that this corresponds to Twitter and Facebook being mutually exclusive sets. This is what is given in the first one. All Facebook are WhatsApp. This can be drawn as, because it is WhatsApp. All Facebook are WhatsApp. Just drawing the first three statements that is being given in the form of a set or a Venn diagram. Now, some WhatsApp or Google is a possibility. We know that some of the WhatsApp, right? Some of the WhatsApp can be a part of the Google. Yeah, it can be a part of Google because they're just asking it can be a possibility. They're not mentioning it as a certainty, right? It can be a possibility. So this can be a true. This conclusion can hold good. Now, some Twitter can never be Facebook. Some Twitter can never be Facebook. We know that no Twitter is a Facebook. So some Twitter can never be a Facebook. This also holds good. So the answer is both 1 and 2 follows. Right? Very easy. This is the last question. Solve it and then we'll move on to the verbal section. This is the last question. Solve it. Shouldn't be too difficult. Solve it. Maybe take a minute and a half, and then we'll discuss the answer. Let's solve this question. Which of the following figures correctly represent the relation between tall men, black-haired people, and Indians? Let's solve this. Tall men, we have black-haired people, we have Indians. Let's try to understand the relationship between the first one and the second. Tall men, black-haired people. There can be tall men who are black hair. There can be tall men who are not black hair. They can have some other colored hair. Right? Or you can look at it in the other way around. All black-haired people can not necessarily be tall. Right? So black-haired people and tall people, there will be some overlap, but there will not be a single set that represent the whole community. Right? So tall men, this is one community. Then black-haired men is another community. Then there will be some overlap, but there won't be a massive overlap of the circles such that it looks either concentric or one and the same. Right? It cannot look concentric. It cannot look one and the same. Right? Both the options are false or are not true. Right? So we have solved this particular relationship. Now let's look at the third one. Indians. Now, if you think about it, are Indians tall? Yeah, there are Indians that are tall. Can Indians be short? Yeah, there are Indians who are short as well. So, Indians cannot completely fit inside this particular circle. So that is, let's look at the other part, which is black hair. Does all Indians have black hair? Not necessarily. Does all Indians not have black hair? That's also not true. Right? So, Indians do not fall completely under this circle as well. So there will be overlap with black haired people. There will be overlap with tall people. So Indians will have overlap with both, but not necessarily be contained under one circle. Right? So this is a circle. I mean, this is the type of diagram that you're looking at. So tall people, black hair people, Indians. So whatever options that resembles this particular Venn diagram should be your answer. This is the only option that matches, right? So this shouldn't be too difficult. Just like I said, most questions in LR from IPMAT and GIPMAT are not too difficult. Maybe try to spend minute and a half and then try to figure out what the answer is. If you don't get it, skip it and move on to the next one. Right? That's it for this particular non-verbal reasoning type questions. There is one more section where we'll solve verbal reasoning questions. So I have Jatin with me. So he will be taking you through those verbal sections. So yeah, come in, Jatin.
Awesome. Okay, hi folks. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jatin. I'm the head of ERC at 2IIM. So Akeb's covered logical reasoning in detail, right? So what I'll do is I just have a few verbal logical reasoning questions. I mean, they are logical reasoning, but they are verbal logical reasoning questions. So you'll find them in the verbal section of your exam, but they are purely not purely, but you need reasoning for that. So it's basically you need two skills. You need your reasoning skills, you need your verbal skills, and then you solve the questions, right? They're usually not that complicated. I think the only complexity comes in when the words are unfamiliar, right? That's why I always say to IPMAT students that vocabulary is a very important part of your exam. So you should have been building your vocabulary very actively by now, because if the word is unfamiliar, then it becomes difficult to solve that. Okay, so let's look at a few questions. Just give me 1 second. Wait, how are you proceeding to? Oh, okay. Sorry, not used to this. Oh, there's a clicker. Okay, great. Okay. Yeah, let me not block the screen. Let's look at the first one. Okay. Now read the instructions very carefully, as we always say. So it says, following analogy shows the relationship between two words. Select the pair which has the same relationship. Okay, so there is a pair which is a part of the question, right? Which is theft and confess. All right. So it says, following analogy shows the relationship between two words, that is theft, confess. Select the pair out of the options which has the same relationship. So your job is to select a pair which has the same relationship as theft, confess, which is a part of the question. Okay, have a look at this. Let me know your answer in chat, and then we'll discuss it. Okay. Right, I'm getting a couple of answers. Rest of you should also reply and tell me what your answer is. This question is not, it's not the most straightforward. Okay, this one's a little tricky. So yeah, take a bit of time. That's fine. But let me know about your answer. Okay, Bishaka and John, your answers are noted. Once everyone else is ready, we'll discuss it. Any more answers? All right, okay. So let's discuss this one. If there are more answers, just type that in chat. You should definitely attempt this because, of course, you're preparing for it. So go for it. Okay. So what is the relationship? So now theft and confess. Now, first of all, in such questions, what you have to see is you have to understand the relationship between theft and confess before you proceed. Obviously, right? Now, what is the relationship between theft and confess? If you commit a theft and you're confessing, that means you're owning up to that theft, isn't it? A robber commits a theft, and the robber then confesses it, right? So of course, theft is a negative thing, and you're confessing to it. It's sort of a positive thing, right? You are sort of owning up to the theft. So keep that in mind. So this has a negative connotation. This is a slightly positive one, right? Keep that in mind, and then sort of look at the other options. Now let's look at A, fight and dare. Okay. Now theft and confesses. You commit a theft, then you confess to it. So you're owning up to it. If you get into a fight and you dare, that's a different relationship, right? Confessing is owning up to a theft. Daring is not owning up to a fight. Daring is basically you're daring to fight. Okay, so the relationship is different. Now don't get confused here. See, it's not simplistic. You can't just say, oh, confess to a theft, dare to a fight. No, it's not that simple. The relationship is different. Here you're owning up to a mistake or a theft. Here it's different. So this can't be your answer. Okay. Now fault and admit. Okay. Fault and admit. Now look at this. Fault is like, now compare it with theft. Theft can also be called as a fault, right? You're admitting to a fault. So you're owning up to a fault. You're confessing to a theft. You're owning up to a theft. The relationship looks similar. So we're going to park it because we haven't looked at the other options. We have to choose the best option. Murder and commit. Now, murder, you're committing a murder. Committing a murder doesn't mean you're owning up to that murder. Right? Committing is you're committing an action. Okay, so the relationship is different. It's not the same as theft and confess. Now this one, D, mistake and agree. Now some of you in chat were saying D. Think about this. Now this is where it gets tricky. Do you agree to a mistake? Answer this question in chat. Do you agree to a mistake? If you're owning up a mistake, what do you say? Do you say, I'm agreeing with this mistake? Is that correct English? When you're owning up a mistake, do you say, I agree with the mistake? You don't. That's wrong English. You accept. You accept a mistake. That is owning up to your mistakes. You can't agree to a mistake. That's just wrong English. So this looks very attractive because agree and accept, they can sound similar, but if you look at it, it's wrong English. The best one that we have is B. So this is your answer. Okay, it's a tricky one because you can easily fall for mistake agree, and I got that answer on chat. So be careful here. Okay, analyze it a little bit, and you have to choose the best option. Admit fault is the best option. Here, the English is wrong. Okay, all right, perfect. Let's move on. If there's a question, let me know in chat. Okay, solve this one. Choose the pair in which the words bear the same relationship to each other as the words of the given pair. It's similar to that, right? So always read instructions very carefully, especially for IPMAT, because your question types can be different. It's very dynamic. Every year it changes. And exam to exam, the instructions are different. So be very, very careful. Read the instructions up front. Read the instructions for each question carefully. Then answer the question. Try this and let me know the answer in chat. Okay, so I've gotten answers from Amisha, actually Bhavya, Amisha, Bishaka, and John, and all of them are saying B. B for Bravo. Okay, all of you are selecting that. So let's look at this. Again, this can be a little tricky if you don't know the meaning of quiver. Okay, and quiver has multiple meanings. Now, first of all, we understand what is the relationship between arrows and quiver. For that, you need to know what quiver is. This is where your vocabulary building comes in. Now, see, quiver can have two meanings. Quiver, the general meaning of quiver that we see commonly is trembling. You can quiver with fear. You can tremble with fear. Shaking. That's quiver. So it's all commonly used in a connection with fear. But here, obviously, that doesn't. There's no connection with arrows and fear. So a quiver is where you put the arrows. Okay. So if you have a bunch of arrows and you want to put it in a case, the case is called quiver. You might have seen this in mythological. If you watch Ramayana or Mahabharata, they have this thing on the back, this case where they put all the arrows and they keep shooting them. That's a quiver. Okay, so that quiver also means that. So quiver is basically a case for arrows. Okay, now you have to look for relationship. Now fear and tremble, now see how they trick you. They put fear here, you'll see quiver. If you don't spend enough time on this question, you'll relate quiver with fear and you'll select this answer. But there's no relation, the relationship is not the same. This is not a synonym. Arrows and quiver are not synonyms. Fear and tremble, fear and tremble are not synonyms, but this has no connection with arrows. Okay, so that's not the answer. This is a case for arrows. Money bank. Okay, you put arrows in a quiver, you put money in a bank. So this is your answer, but we'll park it. Sound music, it's not the same relationship. Coin mint, it's not the same relationship. So the answer here is money bank. Okay, good job, folks. All of you selected B. Okay, let's move on. If there's a question, let me know. Okay, do this. Again, same thing. Look at the question, determine the relationship, and then answer it. Don't forget to like the stream, okay, while you're at it. If you enjoyed the content, Akib's content, my content, make sure to like it. And of course, subscribe to our channel as well. That goes without saying. Okay, interesting. So I'm getting a bunch of alpha A, I'm getting a bunch of delta D. Okay, so and it's pretty split, it's 50-50. So see, this question you have to, again, folks, avoid silly mistakes. Okay, don't try to, again, I know these questions can be solved quickly, and it's a good thing, you can save time. But one tip I can give you is when you have an analogy question like this, before you look at the options, spend a little bit of time understanding the relationship of the pair that's given to you. And this is before you even look at the options. If you look at the options up front, it will create confusion. So first, when you get a question like this, look at the pair in front of you. Try to understand the relationship between them. Spend a few seconds there and then start looking at the options once the relationship is clear. Now, what is the relationship between embarrass and humiliate? Are they synonyms? That's probably some of you thought that. The moment you saw embarrass and humiliate, you thought, oh, these are synonyms. Think about it. Are they synonyms? Do they mean let me not say synonyms because it can mean similar meanings as well. Do they mean the same thing? Is embarrass the same as humiliate? Think about it. You embarrass someone versus you humiliate someone. Is there a difference? The chat lag in chat, so that irritates me. But yeah, just type the answer on chat. You embarrass someone, you humiliate someone. Is there a difference? There is a difference. There's a big difference. Embarrass and humiliate is not the same thing. Embarrass is okay, I'm embarrassing someone. Right? You can embarrass a friend. Right? Let's say a mother can embarrass a son by talking about their childhood shenanigans in front of their friends. You know, let's say there's one of you who did something really funny during your childhood, and mothers and fathers have a way of doing that. You know, whenever there's a family gathering, they can talk about that incident and embarrass you. Embarrass is I wouldn't say it's harmless, but embarrass doesn't have too much of impact. You humiliate someone, that's like you're insulting someone. Okay, so embarrass and humiliate, there's a big difference. The intensity is way higher in case of humiliate. This is usually harmless. Okay, it doesn't have that much impact. But humiliating someone is properly insulting them. Okay, so they are not the same thing. The degree is higher in humiliate. That's the relationship that you have to look for. Enquire and ask is the same thing. There is no difference of degree between ask and inquire. It's the same thing. It's the same meaning. This is not the same. That's why some of you fell for A. Be careful. Okay. All right. Embezzle and peculate. This is also the same thing. Peculate, add this to your vocabulary. Later look it up. Embezzle and peculate is the same thing. Gamble and investment, there is no degree high here. Doesn't make sense. Annoy and exasperate is your answer. Okay, you annoy someone and exasperate someone. Exasperate has a higher degree. Okay, that's why this is the answer. All right. Okay, let's look at this one. Solve the question. Read the instructions and solve the question. Sorry. Last question. Okay, folks, we'll do this quickly. I think there's one more question after that. We'll finish this quickly. I think we're running out of time. Just quickly type the answer for this one. Okay. All right. Now see, you have to, again, it's a similar question, right? You have to look at, so the structure is a little different. Read the instructions. You have to understand the relationship between drill and bore, and then similarly form a relationship between sieve and one of the options, right? Drill and bore is the same thing. Synonyms. Okay. So you have to look for a synonym between sieve. Sieve is basically, and add this to your vocabulary. You can Google image, go to images.google.com, click on sieve, you'll know what it is. It's used in Indian households. You sieve rice. There's this chal. I mean, how do I say that in English? In Hindi, it's called a chalni. Okay, there's this like webbed, netted kind of utensil which is used to sieve things. So you can use it for rice, you can use it for flour. You probably have seen your mothers doing that in your house, in traditional households. So look it up, add this to your vocabulary. The synonym for sieve is sift. Okay, you can sieve flour, you can sift flour. It's the same thing. So the action is also called sieve. The utensil is also called sieve. Okay, have a look at it. That's why the answer is sift. Pry means something else, rinse means something else. Thresh also, add these to your vocabulary, they keep coming up. Thresh is actually similar to thrash, similar to that. Okay, please add this to your vocabulary, but the answer for this is sift. Yeah, this one I think we're going to drop it. Cool. That's it. That's it from my side, folks. So I'm going to let Akib do the closing. But yeah, if you have any questions related to verbal analogy or any other question, you can put this in the comment, and we'll get back to you. But I'll let Akib do the closing. All right.
Yeah. Thanks, folks. Thanks for joining in. I think we've been doing this for quite some time now. This is the fourth session, just like I said. So definitely, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Comment and share and subscribe, and do hit the bell icon and all that. But yeah, if you guys have any doubt, feel free to reach out to us. You know where to reach out to us. If you guys do not know, I'll put it up anyway. So you can mail us at info@2iim.com, or you can call us at 996264848. If you guys have any doubt, feel free to call us. We'll be happy to help you out with that. Right? So thanks, folks. Thanks for joining in. This is our fourth session. We'll probably have one more session before your IPMAT Rohtak examination, maybe in a couple of days, 2-3 days. We will let you know. And thanks for joining in. All the best for your IPMAT examinations and the subsequent GIPMAT and IPM indoor examinations. Definitely, keep us posted about how it goes and all that. We will try to catch up one more time, probably in 2-3 days before your IPMAT examination. Thanks, folks. Thanks for joining in. You guys can just where to reach out to our venues that I have told you. Thanks. Bye.